built inside a cedar chest, a heavy patch of memories where the mountain shadows rest. The fabric was all faded and the edges started to fray, worn out from the labor of a bitter blinding day. But running right straight through the middle of the broken seam, I saw a thread of crimson like a holy waking dream. Oh, follow down the scarlet thread across the rugged quilt, washing out the heavy stain of sorrow and of guilt. It ties the broken pieces of the holler and the hill, bound up by the mercy of the Master's holy will. From the garden to the mountain where the heavy timber bled, hallelujah for the binding of the holy scarlet thread. I brought my own torn garment to the table in the room, woven with the trouble of the valley and the loom. I didn't have no silver and I didn't have no gold to pay the heavy ransom for the stories I had told. But the maker took the needle and he pierced his holy hand, sewing up a mercy that I'll never understand. Oh, follow down the scarlet thread across the rugged quilt, washing out the heavy stain of sorrow and of guilt. It ties the broken pieces of the holler and the hill, bound up by the mercy of the Master's holy will. From the garden to the mountain where the heavy timber bled, hallelujah for the binding of the holy scarlet thread. Pull the needle steady, draw the heavy crimson tight, turn the bitter darkness to a bright and morning light. A bright and morning light, draw the heavy crimson tight. Oh, follow down the scarlet thread across the rugged quilt, washing out the heavy stain of sorrow and of guilt. It ties the broken pieces of the holler and the hill, bound up by the mercy of the Master's holy will. From the garden to the mountain where the heavy timber bled, hallelujah for the binding of the holy scarlet thread. Oh, the scarlet thread where the heavy timber the sycamore well. Calling the workers from the heat of the day, telling the weary to come rest and pray. I've been out toiling in the sun and the dust, fighting the briars and fighting the rust. Oh, ring it out loud from the top of the hill, let it roll down to the valley so still. A sound of forgiveness salvation that I've ever seen, that I've ever seen. Washing me top of the hill, let it roll down to the valley, so still. A sound of forgiveness, sound of release, calling the wandering spirit to peace. I'm dropping my hammer, I'm dropping my stone. Dug a heavy cavern in the side of Miller's Hill, when the summer dirt was yielding and the evening air was still. I lined the walls with timber and I packed the earthen floor, and I hung a rusted hinge upon the heavy oaken door. I filled it up with harvest for the coming of the snow, a quiet kind of waiting that the mountain people know. Take me down into the shadow of the root cellar deep, where the treasures of the valley and the heavy mercies sleep. The winter wind is howling and the frost is on the pane, but the Maker keeps a shelter from the bitter freezing rain. The surface might be barren and the heavy branches bare. Hallelujah for the bounty that is resting safely there. I took a glowing candle down the steep and narrow stair to fetch a jar of peaches in the cold and bitter air. The shells are standing steady in the darkness and the gloom, a promise of the springtime in the heavy earthen room. The dulcimer is humming like a seed beneath the snow, a melody of waking when the bitter tempest goes. Take me down into the shadow of the root cellar deep, where the treasures of the valley and the heavy mercies sleep. The winter wind is howling and the frost is on the pane, but the Maker keeps a shelter from the bitter freezing rain. The surface might be barren and the heavy branches bare. Hallelujah for the bounty that is resting safely there. Lock the heavy door, let the cruel winter howl, hide away the harvest from the hungry mountain proud. The hungry mountain proud, let the cruel winter howl. Oh, take me down into the shadow The winter wind is howling and the frost is on the pane, but the Maker keeps a shelter from the bitter freezing rain. The surface might be barren and the heavy branches bare. Hallelujah for the bounty that is resting safely there. The root cellar deep, heavy mercy sleep. Gathered up the tatters of a worn and ruined dress, a pile of faded cotton in a heavy tangled mess. The winter wind was howling through the gaps along the floor, a bitter kind of freezing like I've never felt before. I laid the wooden frame across the center of the room and sorted out the pieces in the shadow and the gloom. Oh, stretch the heavy fabric on the wooden quilting frame, stitch together mercy and the sorrow and the shame. The needle's biting sharp and the thread is pulling tight, making up a covering for the bitter heavy night. All are broken, but the Maker sees the whole. Hallelujah for the blanket that will warm the freezing soul. Yeah. The master brings a thimble and a spool of shining grace, taking every ragged edge and putting it in its place. He sews the patch of darkness right beside the patch of light, weaving up a story that is wholly pure and bright. The dulcimer is humming like the pulling of the thread, a melody of comfort for the weary sinner's bed. Oh, stretch the heavy fabric on the wooden quilting frame, stitch together mercy and the sorrow and the shame. The needle's biting sharp and the thread is pulling tight, making up a covering for the bitter heavy night. The pieces all are broken, but the Maker sees the whole. Hallelujah for the blanket that will warm the freezing soul. Pull the needle through, tie the heavy cotton string, wait upon the morning and the coming of the spring. The coming of the spring. Tie the heavy cotton string. Stretch the heavy fabric on the wooden quilting frame, stitch together mercy and the sorrow and the shame. The needle's biting sharp and the thread is pulling tight, making up a covering for the bitter heavy night. The pieces all are broken, but the Maker sees the whole. Hallelujah for the that will warm the freezing soul. The wooden quilting frame, warm the freezing soul. I pulled a piece of knotted cedar from the muddy river bend, a heavy and a broken branch that didn't have a friend. The bark was stripped and ruined by the rushing of the flood, covered up in river moss and heavy mountain mud. I took it to the master sitting on the cabin porch, waiting in the yellow light beside the heavy torch. Oh, scrape away the bitter bark with the whittler's holy knife. Cut away the rotten wood to find the inner life. The blade is sharp and steady and the shavings fall away, shaping of an instrument to see the light of day. It's a painful kind of carving for a proud and stubborn soul. Hallelujah for the knife that makes the broken timber whole. I feel the iron digging deep into the twisted grain, a necessary sorrow and a holy kind of pain. He's sanding down the splinters of the fear and bitter doubt to let the hidden beauty of the heavy timber out. The dulcimer is playing out a sweet and quiet tune, while the sawdust scatters underneath the mountain moon. Oh, scrape away the bitter bark with the whittler's holy knife. Cut away the rotten wood to find the inner life. The blade is sharp and steady and the shavings fall away, shaping up an instrument to see the light of day. It's a painful kind of carving for a proud and stubborn soul. Hallelujah for the knife that makes the broken timber whole. Whittle down the heavy pride, cut the bitter root, make the barren branch a place to bear the holy fruit. To bear the holy fruit, cut the bitter root, cut the bitter root, Oh, scrape away the bitter bark with the whittler's holy knife. Cut away the rotten wood to find the inner life. The blade is sharp and steady and the shavings fall away, shaping up an instrument to see the light of day. It's a painful kind of carving for a proud and stubborn soul. Hallelujah for the knife that makes the broken timber whole. The widow's knife makes the broken timber whole. cleared the bitter briar from the ragged mountain sheep. I brought the tangled bundle from the valley dark and deep. The wool was stained with winter, and the birds were sharp and cruel, a heavy kind of harvest for a weary mountain fool. I laid it at the footstool of the master of the wheel, asking for a pattern that the broken heart could feel. Oh, throw the heavy shuttle across the ancient Blackwood Loom, weaving up the mercy in the shadow of the room. The threads are stained with sorrow and the pattern's hard to see, but the maker's spinning glory from the broken parts of me. The warp and weft are pulling tight beneath his holy hand. Hallelujah for the tapestry I'll one day understand. I pumped the wooden treadle till the muscles in my knee began to ache with carrying the weight of history. But every time the spindle spun, a darker thread would gleam, washed up in the waters of a holy mountain stream. The dulcimer is humming like the tension of the twine, a melody of resting in a sovereign sweet design. Oh, throw the heavy shuttle across the ancient Blackwood Loom, weaving up the mercy in the shadow of the room. The threads are stained with sorrow and the pattern's hard to see, but the maker's spinning glory from the broken parts of me. The warp and weft are pulling tight beneath his holy hand. Hallelujah for the tapestry I'll one day understand. When the final knot is tied and the heavy work is done, I'll wrap it round my shoulders in the valley of the sun. The valley of the sun. The heavy work is done. Blackwood Loom, weaving up the mercy in the shadow of the room. The threads are stained with sorrow and the pattern's hard to see, but the maker's spinning glory from the broken parts of me. The warp and weft are pulling tight beneath his holy hand. Hallelujah for the tapestry I'll one day understand. Walked across the pasture when the summer dirt was dry, beneath the blinding yellow of a heavy August sky. The holler was a-burning and the creek was a-running low, a bitter kind of thirsty that the mountain people know. I carried down the bucket made of old and cedar wood to the shadows of the valley where the rocky basin stood. Oh, Lord, down the vessel in the cold and ancient well, roots of hickory, where the hidden waters dwell. The world is parched and dying, and the riverbed is bone, but the maker hid a fountain in the bottom of the stone. Pull the heavy rope until the living waters break. Hallelujah for the drinking, for the weary sinner's sake. I heard the iron pulley groaning heavy in the heat, a song of sweet salvation for the dusty, tired feet. I pulled the dripping cedar to the safety of the brink, and bowed my heavy shoulders for a cold and holy drink. The dulcimer is ringing like the dropping of the rain, washing out the sorrow and the heavy, bitter pain. Oh, lower down the vessel in the cold and ancient well, past the roots of hickory, where the hidden waters dwell. The world is parched and dying, and the riverbed is bone, but the maker hid a fountain in the bottom of the stone. Pull the heavy rope until the living waters break. Hallelujah for the drinking, for the weary sinner's sake. Drink it from the dipper, let it satisfy the soul, make the broken spirit and the weary body whole. Of hickory, where the hidden waters dwell. The world is parched and dying, and the riverbed is bone, but the maker hid a fountain in the bottom of the stone. Pull the heavy rope until the living waters break. Hallelujah for the drinking, for the weary sinner's sake. Cedar bucket for the weary sinner's sake. Plow the rocky field upon the mountainside, where the thistles grow so heavy and the bitter weeds reside. The mule was getting tired and the dirt was dry and hard, a lonely kind of labor in the broken rocky yard. I felt the leather harness cutting deep into my chest, aching for the shadow and a little bit of rest. Oh, lay aside the heavy load and take the hickory yoke, carved out by the master from the Appalachian oak. He walks right there beside you in the bitter burning sun, and pulls the heavier portion till the weary work is done. The burden isn't heavy and the labor isn't and keep it clean. The carpenter of Nazareth, he shaped a better fit and taught my restless spirit just exactly how to sit. The dulcimer is playing like a steady walking pace, a rhythm of surrender in this holy mountain place. Oh, lay aside the heavy load and take the hickory yoke, carved out by the master from the Appalachian oak. He walks right there beside you in the bitter burning sun and pulls the heavier portion till the weary work is done. The burden isn't heavy and the labor isn't cruel. Hallelujah for the mercy on a stubborn mountain fool. Walk the furrow steady, keep your eyes upon the line, resting in the comfort of a holy, sweet design. A holy, sweet design. Keep your eyes upon the mountain fool. The hickory yoke, the weary work is done. Carried all my broken pieces down to Miller's Draw, where the oldest heavy blacksmith that the holler ever saw was stoking up the embers till they burned a cherry red, with the soot and bitter ashes falling down upon his head. I laid my twisted iron on the surface of the stone and asked the maker if he'd fix the weary and the lone. Oh, strike the rusted anvil, let the heavy hammer fall. I'm listening for the echo of the high and holy call. The fire's gonna burn away the dross and bitter pride, with nowhere for the wickedness and heavy sin to hide. I'm yielding to the pressure and the ringing of the steel. Hallelujah for the shaping that the broken heart can feel. I heard the bellows groaning like a weary sinner's prayer, pulling down the mercy from the heavy mountain air. He pulled me from the furnace and he plunged me in the stream to wake my weary spirit from a dark and bitter dream. The dulcimer is singing through pressure and the ringing of the steel. Hallelujah for the shaping that the broken heart can feel. The rusted anvil, the ringing of the steel. I dug a heavy bucket full of river mud and clay, down where the muddy water washes all the banks away. The dirt was full of gravel and the roots were tangled deep, a bitter kind of harvest for a weary soul to keep. I brought it to the maker, sitting by the wooden wheel, waiting for the shaping that the broken heart can feel. Oh, spin the heavy circle, pour the water from the gourd, press the weary edges by the finger of the Lord. The clay is stiff and stubborn, and it wants to break and bend, but the potter knows the vessel that he's making in the end. There's pressure in the center, and they're scraping on the side. Hallelujah for the mercy where the broken pieces hide. He pulls a hidden pebble from the center of the wall, a painful kind of gouging that could make the vessel fall. But he smooths it with the water, and he builds it up anew, making sure the hollow and the heavy sides are true. The dulcimer is singing like the turning of the stone, a melody of knowing that the clay is not its own. Oh, spin the heavy circle, pour the water from the gourd, press the weary edges by the finger of the Lord. The clay is stiff and stubborn, and it wants to break and bend, but the potter knows the vessel that he's making in the end. There's pressure in the center, and they're scraping on the side. Hallelujah for the mercy where the broken pieces hide. Spin it fast, tear it down, build it to the sky, bake it in the fire till the heavy earth is dry, till the heavy earth is dry. Build it to the sky. Oh, spin the heavy circle, pour the water from the gourd, press the weary edges by the finger of the Lord. The clay is stiff and stubborn, and it wants to break and bend, but the potter knows the vessel that he's making in the end. There's pressure in the center, and they're scraping on the side. Hallelujah for the mercy where the broken pieces hide. The riverbank clay, where the broken pieces hide. place from off the mountain grazing sheep, down where the muddy river waters run so cold and deep. The wool was full of briars and the bitter tangled burr, a dirty kind of blanket on the wandering heavy herd. I washed it in the water till the fiber came out clean, the whitest kind of mercy that the hollers ever seen. Oh, turn the heavy drive band on the wooden spinning wheel, draw out the holy fiber that the broken heart can feel. The treadle's keeping rhythm and the spindle pulls it tight, turning bitter sorrow to a garment pure and white. The labor takes a season and the spinning takes a toll. Hallelujah for the garment that will cover up the soul. I took the iron carders and I combed the tangled strand, resting in the comfort of the maker's steady hand. The wheel is humming quiet in the shadow of the room, getting up the yarn for the heavy waiting loom. The dulcimer is echoing the singing of the wood, making up a covering where the naked sinner stood. Oh, turn the heavy drive band on the wooden spinning wheel, draw out the holy fiber that the broken heart can feel. The treadle's keeping rhythm and the spindle pulls it tight, turning bitter sorrow to a garment pure and white. The labor takes a season and the spinning takes a toll. Hallelujah for the garment that will cover up the soul. Keep the rhythm steady, let the heavy flyers spin, wash away the trouble of the bitter heavy sin. The bitter heavy sin, let the heavy flyers spin. Oh, turn the heavy drive band on the wooden spinning wheel, draw the holy fiber that the broken heart can feel. The treadle's keeping rhythm and the spindle pulls it tight, turning bitter sorrow to a garment pure and white. The labor takes a season and the spinning takes a toll. Hallelujah for the garment that will cover up the soul. I was cutting down the timber on the edge of Miller's Creek, trying to build a cabin when the winter wind was bleak. The logs were bowed and twisted and the mud was running deep, a weary kind of labor for a mountain man to keep. I stacked the heavy branches, but the walls began to lean, the most unstable shelter that the hollers ever seen. Oh, drop the iron plumb line right beside fortress and build it all anew. Build it all anew. Measure it straight and right beside the crooked wall. Show the weary builder why the heavy timber falls. You cannot build a mansion on the shifting river sand. You need the solid granite and the maker's steady hand. The truth is cutting sharper than the heavy rusted saw. I was walking through the laurel where the copperheads crawl, in the hollow of the mountain where the heavy shadows fall. My boots were caked in red clay and my heart was full of stone, the loneliest traveler that the ridge had ever known. Then I spied a little chapel made of stone and ancient pine, waiting for the sinner at the holy Timberline. Oh, swing wide the Hemlock Gate and let the light come pouring in to wash away the mountain mud and the bitter heavy sin. There's a fire in the heart and a seat beside the throne, where the wandering mountain traveler is never quite alone. I'm laying down my burden by the rugged wooden door. Hallelujah, I won't have to wander through the shadows anymore. I heard the dulcimer ringing like a clearing mountain stream, waking up my spirit from a dark and dusty dream. I left my heavy rifle and I left my heavy pride and stepped into the mercy on the holy other side. The preacher spoke of water that would never ever dry, and a mansion built for paupers in the painted autumn sky. Oh, swing wide the Hemlock Gate and let the light come pouring in to wash away the mountain mud and the bitter heavy sin. There's a fire in the heart and a seat beside the throne, where the wandering mountain traveler is never quite alone. I'm laying down my burden by the rugged wooden door. Hallelujah, I won't have to wander through the shadows anymore. The gate is standing open and the master's calling loud. Come and find your shelter from the thunder and the cloud. The thunder and the cloud. The master's calling the shadows anymore. The Hemlock Gate, I won't wonder anymore. I swung the heavy iron mold against the chestnut log, down where the muddy river bottom meets the morning fog. The wedges biting deep into the center of the grain, a heavy kind of labor in the freezing autumn rain. I'm laying down the timber on the borders of the land, a line of holy shelter shaped by a weary calloused hand. Oh, build a split rail fence across the shadows of the ridge, from the corner of the pasture to the broken wooden bridge, to keep the howling mountain wolves away from the fold and guard the weary wandering sheep out in the bitter cold. The boundary line is heavy, but the boundary line is true. Hallelujah for the shelter that the shepherd built for you. The splinters cut my fingers and the blisters start to bleed, but I know the master understands exactly what we need. The enemy is prowling in the laurel and the brush, waiting for the darkness and the heavy mountain hush. The dulcimer is playing out a warning in the night to keep the holy fire burning steady, burning bright. Oh, build a split rail fence across the shadows of the ridge, from the corner of the pasture to the broken wooden bridge, to keep the howling mountain wolves away from the fold and guard the weary wandering sheep out in the bitter cold. The boundary line is heavy, but the boundary line is true. Hallelujah for the shelter that the shepherd built for you. Lay the heavy timber, stack the cedar high, keep the watchful vigil underneath the darkened sky, underneath the darkened sky. Stack the cedar high. Oh, build a split rail fence across the shadows of the ridge, from the corner of the pasture to the broken wooden bridge, to keep the howling mountain wolves away from the fold and guard the weary wandering sheep out in the bitter cold. The boundary line is heavy, but the boundary line is true. Hallelujah for the shelter that the shepherd built for you. Split rail fence that the shepherd built for you. Gathered up the windfalls from the frozen orchard grass, waiting for the bitter winds of winter time to pass. The skin was bruised and broken, and the flesh was turning brown, the heaviest of harvest in the sleepy mountain town. I threw them in the wooden tub beneath the iron screw, and waited for the maker's hand to press them all anew. Oh, turn the heavy iron on the wooden apple press, squeeze away the sorrow and the bitter heaviness. The fruit is bruised and broken, and the skin has got to tear to bring the sweetest cider to the cold and winter air. There's pressure in the valley, and the crushing takes a toll. Hallelujah for the pressing of the heavy burdened soul. The juice is flowing golden from the bottom of the wood down into the bucket where the weary sinner stood. He takes the broken pieces that the world has thrown away and makes a holy vintage for the great and final day. The dulcimer is ringing like the dropping of the sweet, a melody of mercy for the dusty, tired feet. Oh, turn the heavy iron on the wooden apple press, squeeze away the sorrow and the bitter heaviness. The fruit is bruised and broken, and the skin has got to tear to bring the sweetest cider to the cold and winter air. There's pressure in the valley, and the crushing takes a toll. Hallelujah for the pressing of the heavy burdened soul. Press it heavy, press it hard, let the cider run. Wait upon the glory of the rising morning sun. The rising morning sun, let the cider run. Oh, turn the heavy iron on the wooden apple press, squeeze away the sorrow and the bitter heaviness. The fruit is bruised and broken, and the skin has got to tear to bring the sweetest cider to the cold and winter air. There's pressure in the valley, and the crushing takes a toll. Hallelujah for the pressing of the heavy burdened soul. The wooden apple press,